Hello, everybody. Hello, Miss O'Neill. Nice to see you. Looking forward to hopping on a call pretty soon here. All right, cool. Hello, Mr. Olson. Hello, Farrell. All right, we're going to give it a couple of minutes, let everybody log in, and then we're going to get rocking and rolling with this month's webinar, Digital Dominance Method. Just kind of sounds cool, right? Just going to give you a kind of step-by-step game plan on how you can dominate digitally in this ever-evolving and changing world. Hello, Miss Velasquez. Nice to see you. And if you have the ability to put your camera on, would love it. Just kind of makes it a little bit more interactive that way. But if you can't, I completely understand. And I'm just glad that you are here with me. This is probably going to be the second to last, webinar that you're going to see me in this office. In June, we are actually moving across the parking lot into a larger building. We're going from 1,500 square feet to 4,000 square feet. Really excited. Got the financing approved yesterday, which is always that big hurdle you got to overcome. But we ended up finding out that 4 out of the 5 HVAC units have to be replaced. And if you've ever replaced a commercial HVAC unit, they're not cheap. So we're going back and going to try to renegotiate the contracted price, hopefully get a little bit lower. But I know Miss Hamlin's going through something very similar right now. They're building out. They had like a vanilla shell starting from the ground up. And if you guys have tried to build anything recently with contractors and the cost of supplies, it's kind of a difficult process to go through right now. But the school is looking awesome. I can't wait. When is the potential opening where you'll be able to start running classes?
So we are expecting, I think May 14th, we're hoping to have our graduation there. That's kind of iffy, but that following week in May, we're thinking about we're going to be able to launch classes on that. And we're hoping for a grand opening once we get settled into everything, like end of June. So
awesome. Well, definitely let us know when that grand opening is so we can get some ads launched for you. Awesome. So exciting. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and dive into this. You're definitely going to want a pen and paper. This is going to be, pretty systematic, kind of step-by-step. This is what you need to do. And let me go ahead and share the screen. Hello, Miss Palos. It's not Antonio. That is Tina. And let me go ahead and dive in. All right. So the digital dominance method. All right. What we're really going to be focusing on today is how you can use the thing that is probably no further than 1 to 2 feet away from you. It might be in your pocket, might be on your desk. It's probably an arm reach away. How you can use that to really build authority, how your offer impacts your results. And I'm actually going to share our top performing offers. We run ads for almost 280 schools all over the United States. There's a lot of different offers that we've seen come across, especially requested by school owners. Some of them are kind of crazy in terms of offers that, would potentially be successful online. But we're going to talk about what those offers that we're seeing that are working really well are. The 3-step automation system you need to have in place that automatically follows up with your leads. This does not replace human interaction, but it can reduce the amount of manual communication that needs to happen. We're going to talk a little bit about calculating your marketing ROI. Most people are not reinvesting their profits as much as they should be. And we're going to kind of talk about where you should be in terms of the percentage of your gross revenue, how you can easily curate assets that you can use for your digital marketing efforts, how to increase your show rate with a welcome booster video. This is probably, this needs to be one of the biggest takeaways that you guys have at the end of this webinar. The 4-step sales script that you should be following when you follow up with your leads. And ultimately, if you implement this, that's how you become the best known dojo. I am totally going to do a selfish plug here. If you don't have this book, get this book. I put a link in the Martial Arts Entrepreneurs group. You just pay shipping and handling. You can get it that way, or you can get it off Amazon. All right. But it's, I believe, really the only specific marketing book for martial arts schools that's out there right now. So that's something you're struggling with, definitely pick it up. Okay. You know, I see a lot of familiar faces. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a school owner just like you. Gracie Pack MMA is the name of my school in Tampa, Florida. And we're actually celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year, which is super exciting. You know, I think it's like 3% of businesses make it to 10 years. I'm the founder of Grow Pro, wrote a book, have a podcast, do a ton of speaking. And this kind of bottom one's really important for you to understand. I've managed over 3 million in paid ads for martial arts schools, specifically on Facebook, which, you know, just means that there's a lot of experience and we've got a lot of data. And because of that data, we can, you know, share with you what we see is working and what's not. This is part of my team. There's actually 17 of us. The next person I hire, I'm going to have to put them in the kitchen because we literally just don't have any space, which is why we're purchasing this new building. We run Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads, social media management, and database reactivation, which is email and text message marketing. Okay. The vast majority of my revenue, okay, both in Gracie Pack, my martial arts school, and at Grow Pro have been from leveraging these concepts. And the reason is I opened my school in 2012. It was September of 2012. And I was a one-woman show. We opened up in a little 1,500 square foot sublet room. It was actually inside of a 24-hour fitness center. It used to be the Zumba room. So it was like bright green. And then we came in and I think my total expenses were like $1,000 a month. You know, I look back and I'm like, oh, those were the good old days, right? 1,500 square feet. But what wasn't good about those good old days was I was a one-woman show. And, you know, when you hear the different ways of marketing your martial arts school, you know, you hear things like, all right, you need to become a partner in education and you should be teaching 2-week and 4-week character development classes in the schools, or you can be the PE teacher for the day, or you can go flyer the movie parking lot, or put out little road signs, or become a part of the Chamber of Commerce and do booths and festivals. And, you know, I'm sitting here in Tampa, Florida, where, you know, like it's always hot. And I'm like, I don't want to go do those things. Now, we do those things now. But back then, when I was a one-woman show, I was like, no, I'd rather just stay in the comfort of my nice air-conditioned office, open up my laptop, and start running Facebook ads and immediately be able to see leads come in. Okay, so that's really where my love for digital marketing, you know, really grew. And we went all in digital marketing 2013, 14, and 15. And in my very first full year of having the school open as a one-woman show, we did 142,000. And then within 3 years, we broke the 500,000. And it was really with a heavy focus on digital efforts. It wasn't until after 2016 when I met Maya, the Martial Arts Industry Association. I met Mr. Silverman, I met Mr. Metzger, where we really started focusing on those other marketing strategies like partners in education, and really, you know, marketing inside of our community. And I was able to do that because I had the team. And honestly, it's not, you know, it's not something I particularly enjoy, like going to a Chamber of Commerce meeting and having to network with people. So at the end of the day, what was implemented was all in on digital marketing, on Google, on Facebook, and it really helped us grow very quickly. And those digital marketing skills, unfortunately, will perish if you don't consistently keep up with them. So if you've logged into Facebook lately, more than likely you got a little pop-up that said the new page experience, okay? Anybody get that? I know Tina's like shaking her head like, yes, all right, Aaron got it, okay? Facebook once again changed the Facebook business page. And I think that's probably one of the biggest frustrations that everybody has. And, you know, especially for us, like most of my time spent as the visionary of a digital marketing company is on research. It's just like taking courses and keeping up with the things that are consistently changing. However, there are basics, there are foundations that while the tech aspect of it might change, the theory is never going to change. All right. And that's one of the points that I really want to drive home in regards to the 7 levels of marketing, right? So once we kind of met Maya and met Mr. Metzger and Mr. Silverman and were introduced to all their strategies, then we started doing all of those other what I call lines out in the ocean, right? And there's 7 levels of marketing: organic social media, SEO, and having a lead generating website. This is why you want to use websites like Market Muscles, running paid ads, email and SMS marketing, print marketing, the phone, and face-to-face. And my book breaks down every single one of these levels of marketing, okay? Most school owners are not reinvesting their profits back into marketing, and most of them are not doing it at the rate that the SBA recommends. So if you go to the SBA's website, you're going to see on there that their recommendation is to reinvest 8% to 10% back into your marketing. So if you're doing $30,000 a month, a minimum of $3,000 should be going back into that. All right. And that's just kind of a good number and a good barometer to know. Now, with that being said, in our industry, there's, highs and lows, ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys. And what I don't want you to do is, if you're averaging 30,000, say, okay, every single month needs to be $3,000 reinvested back in, because there's certain months where you've got to put more. And guess what? We're creeping up to that month because summer is coming, right? It's like the whole Game of Thrones, winter is coming. No, summer is coming. And this is when the budget needs to increase. So maybe the previous months you do 2,000, so you can use that extra 1,000 and tack it on to the months coming up to summer. All right. So this digital dominance method is really like the strategy that GrowPro was built on. And this is exactly what I did in my martial arts school to find really great success with digital marketing. And the first aspect is you got to start building authority. Okay. And we ideally build authority in today's world with content marketing. All right. Content marketing is just you putting out educational, informational, and entertaining content on your social media profiles, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, now TikTok. And what this ultimately does is it positions you as the expert or the authority. Okay. We are very well known in Tampa as the kids jiu-jitsu school. That is our niche. When I actually first opened Gracie PAC, PAC was supposed to stand for parents and children. That was the acronym. And then all of a sudden I had all of these people that were neither parents nor children wanting to sign up for my programs. And I was like, no, we only, our adult classes are only for parents and our kids class are only for kids. And it was like, Chris, you're missing out on a huge amount of people and you're turning business away. So we very quickly changed it to parents, adults, children, and the acronym still worked. I didn't have to rename my school, which was a good thing, right? But I've always known that our focus was going to be on the kids program. Why? I'm a female-owned school. And I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school as well. And even with 15 plus years of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you get 280-pound former football player coming in that maybe wrestled in college. I'm going to have a hard time going against them. And I also have my degree in education, which I felt like was going to be a very easy sell for the parents. Like, oh, the head instructor or the owner actually has her degree in education. And the reason why I bring this up is because it's important for you to know who your avatar is, right? And typically a lot of martial arts schools predominantly focus on the kids program, but we got Miss Jen Gilly on here. They got 550 plus students. They literally have students just coming out of everywhere. And a lot of them are adults, which is, not what you typically see in most traditional martial arts. So the content that Miss Gilly puts out is going to be different than the content that I put out because we have 2 different sets of avatars. So when you're going to build your authority, it's really important that you know who you are speaking to. Even though my school is called Gracie PAC MMA, if somebody comes in and wants to be an MMA fighter, we're not the best option for them. And if we do take them on as a student, they're eventually going to find out that, hey, this isn't really truly an MMA school. And I'm going to send them down to Matt Arroyo's Gracie Tampa South, where they do have UFC fighters, right? So you got to make sure that when you are building authority, and when we get to kind of the game plan, which is the brainstorming session, that you are speaking directly to your avatar and know who that avatar is, okay? At the end of the day, typically, if somebody is speaking on stage or if somebody is an author, people will put them in a box of they are an expert, right? Because I wrote a book, you might think that I'm an expert, right? Because I put out a lot of video content consistently, you probably think that I am an expert. And here's the thing, every single one of you have the ability to do that because of this little guy right here in my hand. All of us have a platform now. It might not be a physical stage, but you have a virtual stage in regards to how you can build authority in front of your avatar, okay? So what stops school owners from doing that? How come not every school owner is creating videos? How come they're not writing emails? How come they're not doing social media posts? It's usually because they don't know what to post or say. They don't understand the technology, which if you're still using a flip phone, we have a problem, right? You need to at least be in 2022. And they also don't feel comfortable on camera. And, you know, more than likely the advice you give your students, if a student comes up and says, oh, I don't really feel comfortable trying that 540, or I don't feel, comfortable sparring this particular person, you're going to tell them to get their reps in, right? It's just a skill set that you haven't developed. And somebody in your company, might not be you, but somebody in your company needs to be confident on video. Video is not going anywhere. And especially today with TikTok and how much Instagram is pushing Instagram Reels, you have got to feel comfortable filming and you have got to feel comfortable getting in front of that camera, okay? So here's the game plan. It's the 3 B's. You got to brainstorm it, you got to batch it, and then you got to build it out, all right? So under brainstorm, when I'm telling you that in order for you to become an authority, you have to put out content, right? That's that content marketing strategy. One of the easiest things you can do, and I did this at a event, I think it was Melody Johnson's event last year. It was one of her skills, her MegaCon event. And I just had them brainstorm different topics that were either based off of a character story. So what do I mean by character story? You telling how you got into the martial arts, you telling your very first experience when you were at a tournament, you talking about a student that overcame online bullying with your, 3 steps to the 3 T's of overcoming bullying, right? Just a character story. And people love stories, they identify with it. One of the other ones that should probably feel really easy for you is being the expert, right? Putting out that educational style of content on the different social media profiles will position you as the expert. Success stories. Everybody loves a good success story, and we all have them. It's why we do what we do. Highlighting your team. Pretty much anytime we talk about our team members at my academy or at GrowPro, those types of posts get more engagement than really anything else. When's the last time you shouted them out? Any type of motivation, right? We are in the motivational business. And the last one should be kind of the no-brainer, easiest one for you, which is just teaching a technique, right? You guys do that every day when you're on the mat in class. Well, just put a camera in front of it now. Okay, so these are just kind of different brainstorming ideas of what type of content you can put out. And then, well, what's the medium that you use? Are you going to use video? Are you going to use the written word and do a social media post? Are you going to use a graphic with a motivational quote? Are you going to do a longer form video and put it on YouTube? The teach a technique is so perfect right now for Instagram Reels, which we're going to get into here in a second and why it's so popular right now, okay? But these are kind of the different categories of types of content that you can put out, and then you just decide what medium should I use, okay? Now, there are social media calendars out there. Maya Edge has one, and I think it is a great starting point, and it can fill in the blanks if you are not feeling super creative. But what it doesn't do is provide brand awareness, and it doesn't position you in your community as the expert. So the first thing you got to do is just brainstorm a bunch of different types of topics, and then we can take those topics and we can turn it into content marketing. The next thing you got to do is you got to batch. I've been teaching this since I first launched my 8-week marketing mastermind course, and we still use it to this day. We have a Google Drive folder that everybody on my team has access to. We have a photographer that comes in 2 days a month. We have them come in on a Monday and a Tuesday because our students, they basically get 1 A day, 1 B day, and 1 C day. So if that person comes in and films on an A day, they can get pictures and videos of everybody in our school, as long as that they, were in attendance. And then they take those and then they dump them in a Google Drive. And now my team has access to tons of content that they can put out on the social media profiles. Okay. This concept of batching is, to me, it's a productivity concept is really what this comes down to. And for those of you that know me, I'm big on productivity and time blocking. That's practically what this is. Having a specific time blocked period every single month in your school where a photographer can come in. And guys, photography is a very common hobby. And I can pretty much guarantee there's some parent or some student in your school that does it as a hobby that would be more than willing to help you out. Okay. And that's how ours got started as well. All right. But it's going to be really hard for you to build authority in your community if you don't have any assets to post. And yes, you could just do text posts, but we see over and over again the power of pictures and videos. And you can't just do text posts on Instagram. You have to have some form of visual that is associated with it as well. And then the last part is just build it out, okay? It can be very tedious trying to keep up with your posting schedule on a daily basis. So what I mean by build it out is just schedule it out. And you can do that inside of publishing tools on the back end of your new page experience on Facebook. And what's cool is you can not only schedule it for Facebook, you can also schedule it out for Instagram, right? So again, it's kind of that theme of batching, getting it all together, and now you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the month, okay? What I think is really the key to any success in life, it has to do with consistency. And many of you do a good job, with maybe posting a few days in a row and then you stop and it gets put on the back burner. So when you brainstorm it, you batch it and you build it out, it's going to allow you to have that consistency of posting. And it doesn't need to be every single day, but I would say a minimum of 3 times a week. You need to make sure that you're active on your social media platforms. Now, let's talk a little bit about Instagram Reels, okay? Instagram is owned by Facebook. And if you are, let's just do this. Give me a 1 in the comments if you are an active Instagram user, or give me a 2 if you are not. 1, you're an active Instagram user. 2, you are not. I know Miss Hamlin is, because we go back and forth on each other's stories all the time. All right, 1s, couple of 2s, but all right, I would say more 1s than 2s, which is great. Okay, if you are an active Instagram user, because you've seen in your timeline, there are more reels than really pictures. I had to, anytime I'm scrolling, I have to make sure my sound is off, because every time I'm scrolling, if the sound's on, the video starts playing. And there's just reel after reel after reel after reel. Well, Facebook is prioritizing showing people reels. Why? Because it's how they are competing with TikTok. And it's why you're seeing a lot of the features that you get on TikTok, you're now also seeing that on Instagram, okay? TikTok was the #1 visited site in 2021, beating Google. People are spending more time on TikTok than they are on Facebook and Instagram. And Facebook and Instagram's response to that was, well, let's prioritize what people love about TikTok, which is those 60-second and under videos. And we are going to show that more to the users as opposed to images. Okay. So you really have a great opportunity with reels because martial arts is so freaking cool looking, right? Imagine if we were a bunch of accountants or a bunch of lawyers. Like, what are we going to show them? Us typing at our computer? Like, we have such a dynamic industry that we're in. And if Instagram is prioritizing putting those types of videos out, it means you're going to get more reach. And here's the cool thing, it's an organic strategy. It's not going to cost you anything. Now, you can absolutely put ad spend behind it if you wanted to, but I would highly recommend shifting some of your focus into Instagram Reels and TikTok. Okay. I did an entire TikTok presentation for our Maya clients, and I was really like dreading having to do it because, like Miss Jen said here, Facebook already takes too much of my time. Don't want to get sucked into Instagram, right? And I was like the same thing. I was like, oh, I'm already spending so much time on these other platforms. Do I really want to have to diverge my attention? And the second that statistic came out about TikTok having more views than Google, it was like, okay, this can't be ignored. Okay. More than likely, you have a storm team member, a leadership, some teenager on your team. If you're like, Chris, I don't even know how to download the app, they can absolutely help you. But what we are just seeing over the last few months, and we expect it to continue, is just the massive amount of traffic that Reels are getting. So I would highly recommend putting that into your content marketing strategy. And you can be really funny and silly with it, right? Or you could just, keep it kind of simple in regards to showcasing technique videos. And if you're not sure, all you need to do is go to the Discover tab, which is the little magnifying glass inside of Instagram, and just type in martial arts. And it's going to show you all of the top videos that are tagged as martial arts. And you can get a lot of really great ideas with that. Okay. We have a joke. I'm in a marketing mastermind, and our leader, his name's Josh. He always says that, you should R&D. And most people think that means research and develop. And when he says it, he means rob and deploy. Okay. It doesn't mean like copycatting everything, but taking the idea and utilizing it for yourself. So I would go in, I would look at what are other schools putting out in terms of content on Reels, and then create your own type of content as well. But you cannot ignore this anymore, guys. All right. You cannot be ignoring the power of the organic reach that Reels are getting because it's free. Okay. It doesn't cost you anything. All right. So that's stage one, building authority. And I got to give a shout out to the Blackmans here. I know a lot of you know the Blackmans, and they are, and they call themselves this, so I am not putting them down, but they are one of my vintage clients. All right. It's a nice way of saying they're a little bit older than most. And what is so great about them is, even though this feels like it's outside of their comfort zone and their wheelhouse, they didn't grow up with computers and smartphones like a lot of us did. They put in the work to put out consistent content marketing, whether it's posting, whether it's videos, and they're a 7-figure school. They do over $1 million, one location, no after school, no summer camp. And they're doing over $1 million. And the reason why I bring this up is, like, if they can do it, you guys can do it. Okay. And they also utilize one of our add-on programs called the Growth Production Program that we have at GrowPro, where we actually put together professional videos for our clients. It's like a done with you program where they send us footage, and then our on-site videographer puts together a professional video that they can use in their content marketing strategy as well as in their ads. All right. So number one is you got to build authority. I gave you a bunch of different categories, talked about a few different topics that you could use, talked about batching and then building it out. Okay. And that is ultimately going to help you become the expert. Okay. The second part of dominating digitally, and I've got a really funny story I can't wait to help you or to tell you about, is the offer. All right. An offer online can make or break the success of your campaign. And at the end of the day, you cannot outmarket a bad offer. Doesn't matter how great the marketing team is. If you say this is the offer that I want and it's a bad offer, it's not going to matter. Okay. Online offers truly, truly matter. And where the frustration lies, I mean, if you go into any of the industry Facebook groups, just scroll down, you're going to see a bunch of comments on what type of offer should I use. Should I use a free offer? Should I use a paid offer? Okay, I'm going to use a free offer, then which free offer? Or okay, I'm going to use a paid offer, then which paid offer? I know plenty of schools that have phenomenal success using free offers. I know plenty of schools that have phenomenal success using paid offers. I know plenty of schools that utilize both, right? They will offer a free offer to get people in. They will pitch their 12-month program. And then if they absolutely have to, they will downsell a paid offer. But your offer matters, and how you present that offer matters as well. Now, I did an entire webinar on the details of creating your irresistible offer, but this is a good kind of reminder of the steps that you should go through when you say what your offer is, because oftentimes you'll say, oh, it's 4 weeks for 49, or oh, it's 2 weeks for 29, and you're not really making it irresistible. So the first thing you got to do is name it, right? Like, we don't do our typical offer that we offer at my school is a free one-on-one, but we call it a free confidence course. Why? Because it sounds cooler than a free one-on-one, right? So you're going to name it. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to price it. What is the actual cost of it before you tell people what the discount is? Because what that does is it anchors them into that higher tiered cost. And then you say, but you can get it at this discounted price. So now they're seeing the value in it. If you can offer a bonus, offer a bonus. Most of you offer some form of a free uniform. I know for BJJ schools, that can be a little bit difficult, which is why for our basic program and our trial programs, even though we're a jiu-jitsu school, we offer a karate uniform. And it allows us to be able to bonus that out in the trial offer. Can you bundle it with something as well? Can you offer some form of risk reversal? That should say reversal, my apologies. We offer a money back guarantee on all of our trial programs. Now, there's a little asterisk next to it because you have to actually attend, right? If they don't attend, then they won't be eligible for the money back guarantee. You need to always put urgency and scarcity behind it, right? For example, this is good for only X amount of people, or it's good for X amount of days, right? We have Mother's Day coming up right around the corner, which hopefully you guys are doing something for the moms in your school. As an aside, what we do Monday and Tuesday, they get chocolate covered strawberries. Wednesday and Thursday, they get a rose. And then on Saturday, we hold Mother's Day classes where the moms get to earn their pink belt. Or if they've already earned their pink belt in a previous year, they get to earn stripes. And it's really cool. We have some moms that, will be earning, we've been doing this for about 6 years now. So they'll be earning their 7th stripe on their belt. I mean, that's just so cool to see that, right? Please make sure you're doing something for the moms. And then you should absolutely have a call to action at the end, offering to get them on the mat as well. I just had to bring it up because it's right around the corner. Okay, so make sure you're thinking about what you're going to be doing for the moms. Okay, and then finally, can you gift it, right? Especially those schools that are really big in partners in education. For those of you that have partners in education, meaning you have developed a relationship with the school by either going to them and asking them, what can I do for you? Whether it's, running a club in the school, or being a teacher for a PE teacher for the day, or running 2-week or 4-week courses. If you've ever done anything like that, put PIE in the comments for me, PIE. If you have a partnership in education with one of the local schools in your area, typically they're grade schools, let me know. All right, Miss Hamlin, anybody else? All right, so I'm seeing about 4 come in. When we were running our after school program, we had a very large after school program, like 4 vans picking up from 7 schools. We had really prioritized our partnership in education just because we were picking up from those schools. Regardless if you are doing after school or not, it is an avenue I 100% you recommend going down. But a lot of times when you are partners in education, especially if you're doing back to school offers, I know a lot of schools that will take the profit, right? So let's say they're selling, a 6-week for $69. They'll remove whatever their hard cost was. Let's say it's a uniform, and then they'll actually donate that back into the school. So that's what I mean by gifting it, or giving it to a charity. So when you are creating your offers, go through those 8 different steps. And when you go through those 8 different steps, you're going to have a much stronger offer than just saying, oh yeah, we do three days for $19.99 or 2 weeks for $29. Okay. Let me give you a bad example and an interesting story here. So we had a client that enrolled with us, I think it was back in January or February. I'm not going to tell you the name of the client, but it was a jiu-jitsu school. And they said they wanted their offer to be pay for a month and get a uniform, but they do 12-month agreements. So yeah, you're paying for your first month, but their offer was literally to sign up for 12 months. And we said, we've never done an offer like that before, and we highly recommend you don't do it. And they said, well, here's the thing. All of our students, if they're going to get on the mat, they have to be in uniform. We will make 0 exceptions, even if it's a one-on-one. They are not allowed to step foot on the mat without a uniform on. Well, they had jiu-jitsu uniforms, and they were the embroidered jiu-jitsu uniforms, which are very expensive to get, right? I mean, a traditional martial arts school, you can get, a 6-ounce uniform that's, sublimated with your logo for like $8 or $9, right? Theirs were very, very expensive. And we said, we highly recommend you don't do this offer. Your offer is basically sign up for 12 months. You got to pay your first month and we'll give you a uniform. We highly recommend you don't do it. And they said, this is what we want to do. We said, okay, well, what do you think their lead performance was? Not very good. You're telling me I've got to sign up for a 12-month contract. That's your offer. They would not allow people to try it out, right? If I'm a parent and I'm going to sign my son up for something that's 12 months, you better bet I want him to try it before I make that commitment, right? And this is why we all offer trials. Well, obviously the relationship with this school didn't end very well. They didn't get the results that they wanted, even though we told them that this offer wasn't going to work. They go and bash us on social media. And then a couple of weeks later, I get a text from a friend and said, hey, did you know that this school actually owns a marketing agency? The general manager, who was our main contact, owned a marketing agency as well. So what they were doing was just trying to see what our systems and processes were, and basically made it impossible for us to be successful. This is an example of an offer that isn't going to work, okay? Another example, and we see this all the time in this summer camp, okay, is pay for the entire week. For those of you that have kids, right, and this is very front and center for me because I was so hesitant in putting Cruz in a Montessori school. I was just so against it. We put him in there when he turned 1, obviously not verbal yet, right? So if something happened, he wouldn't be able to tell us. So we literally grinded into the owners of this school, making sure it was a good fit. If I'm sending my kid anywhere for an extended period of time where I'm not going to be there as a parent, I want to make sure that this is a safe option. Oftentimes, school owners will say, oh, our offer is, they just have to pay for a full week of summer camp. And they expect, without ever talking to that prospect, that they're just going to say, okay, let me sign them up. I would never send my child anywhere for an extended period of time without me being there, without talking to somebody first, right? So this is just another example of an offer that isn't going to work well online. What we do see work well online for summer camps are a low-priced registration fee that will hold their spot, or offering some form of free class or a one-on-one to get that family to come in so they can experience what summer camp or part of summer camp will be like by taking a martial arts class, okay? Some of the most popular offers that we run. So if you're ever like curious, like, what is that? What are all the other schools doing? The free confidence course, which is a free one-on-one introductory lesson. Okay. We call it a free confidence course. A lot of our clients use that lingo as well. It's a free one-on-one. Okay. The downside to doing one-on-ones is it requires a staff member to be able to do that. All right. And not everybody has that ability, especially if you're a one-man or one-woman show. And not everybody has the staff or the mat space to be able to offer that. Very other popular is a free introductory. The free intro is the free one-on-one, a free introductory class, a free week. I didn't put it on here, but we're seeing a lot of people do 2 free weeks as well, and then 30 days free. Those are the free offers that we continuously run for clients. And in our agency, unlike a lot of other agencies, we will run any offer you ask us to. We'll tell you and give you feedback on whether or not we think it's going to work well. But at the end of the day, you're the client. And if that's the offer you want, we will run it for you. But if you give us an offer we don't think is going to perform well, we'll let you know. In terms of the paid offers that we see work very well, 3 classes for $19.99. This became very popular back in the Perella days. This is what they did at I Love Kickboxing. They got the 3 classes for $19 and they got the gloves. 2 weeks for $29, 4 weeks for $49. And we're seeing a lot of people run 5 classes for $25, which for most of you, 5 classes is going to be like, a 2-week time period. Okay. So this is the trials, both free and paid, that we are predominantly running for our clients, that we are seeing them get great results with. Okay. I got to give a shout out here to Mr. Howard Munding of Millennium Martial Arts. When he started with Grow Pro and with Maya, he was doing about $5,000 a month. In a very, very short period of time, that went up to $30,000. And his offer that he was doing was a one-on-one introductory lesson. And he was kind of getting upset with us because we were booking so many appointments for him. And he was the one that had to do the one-on-one. So he very quickly realized the importance of hiring a team. So he had more help with that. Again, the one-on-one might not be for you, but in my opinion, there's nothing that's going to build better rapport with not only the child and the parent, but with the child and the parent underneath your roof. Okay. Last up, and this is going to be some, write these 3 items down. Okay. Retargeting and automations. Retargeting and automations allow you to get in people's mental Rolodex. What do I mean by a mental Rolodex? We all have it, right? If I say, what's your favorite taco place? You're going to go into your mental Rolodex and you're going to tell me whatever it is. For me, it's a place called Lowly's, right? I'm not going to get any tacos from anywhere else except for Lowly's. We want to be in their mental Rolodex under martial arts schools. And the way that we do that is 1, by building authority, 2, by having that great offer that we're putting out in front of them, and 3, having these consistent touch points through retargeting ads and automations. Okay. I want, when people come into your facility, to say, man, we see you everywhere. Right. And many of you, I'm sure, have heard that, whether they're going on Google, whether they're going on Facebook, they're going on Instagram, whether they're going to their kids' elementary school and they see your banner in the car rider line, whether they're going to the local pizza shop and they see the rack cards in front of them. We want them to see us everywhere. And we can be working smarter with leveraging automations, but you got to make sure the automations make sense, right? And what I mean by make sense is, yes, they should make your job easier and your life easier, but they should also make the prospect's life easier, okay? In regards to frustrations, follow-up is time-consuming, all right? I know Miss Jilly, because they get a ridiculous amount of leads, she spends the majority of her time making lead follow-up phone calls. And it's one of the reasons why they are as successful as they are, because she prioritizes that, right? For them, they don't like having online booking because they want to make that personal connection first. But there are some schools that might not have a person that is dedicated just to doing that. And you can use automations, but it just needs to make sense for both you and the prospect, okay? So there are 3 automations I believe you absolutely need to have in place, okay? Number 1 is an automated personalized picture text message. And that's prior to them booking the appointment. And then in regards to the confirmation, sending a selfie picture from the instructor and sending the welcome booster video. So let me show you what this looks like. So when a lead opts in, they automatically get an email and a text message. And that text message has this picture. And it's a little blurry, my apologies, but it's our instructor that's pointing at the whiteboard. And this whiteboard actually pulls in the prospect's name. So let's say Sarah opted in, it would say, Sarah, we are excited to meet you and your child, right? If this was an ad for kids, more than likely it's not the kid that's opting in, it's the parent. And then it's signed Coach Leo and the Gracie Pack team. And then it provides them with the information to book online. Okay, now maybe you don't like having people have the ability to automatically book online. So you could ask a follow-up question in order to get a response. This is an automation 100% believe you need to have. You get a lot of wow factor. We actually utilize this in GrowPro as well. When somebody opts in, it's a picture of me pointing at our TV, and on the TV, their name gets superimposed. And we had a gentleman who has 2 locations, and he was Facebook messaging me, and he opted in, and he got that picture, and he was like, oh my gosh, you have to show me how to do that. That's the coolest thing ever. It's like, well, we actually do that for our clients. It's that little extra touch of personalization that is really going to set you apart, especially when using automations, right? I mean, all of us get automations. If you have an appointment at the DMV, if you have a doctor's appointment, being able to personalize it with a little touch like this with a picture is very, very powerful and will set you aside from the other martial arts schools and websites that they're opting into, okay? The second thing is a selfie picture. And this is in the appointment confirmation, right? So this personalized whiteboard picture, you could do it on a TV. You could literally do it on a sheet of paper if you wanted to. This happens prior to the booking, okay? This happens on the appointment confirmation. And if you are struggling with getting your appointments to show, implementing this in the next step will really help. So this is a selfie style picture. Why selfie as opposed to like a posed professional picture? Well, because a selfie picture feels like it's something that they just did right now, right? If it's a posed professional picture, they're going to know that that is 100% an automation. So this is a way to make it feel less like an automation. And we literally say, we can't wait to meet you. And it shows like, hey, there's an actual human being on the other side of your appointment that is waiting for you to show up, okay? The last aspect of this that can help for those of you that are struggling with appointment show-ups is the welcome booster video. This is something I've been teaching for many years. We shot a video. It doesn't need to be anything crazy professional. You can literally do it on your cell phone, but you're basically welcoming them and laying out the expectation of what they're going to receive. And this is so important because when you tell somebody that when you come in, we're going to do A, B, and C, and X, Y, and Z, and then they come in and you deliver on that promise, what was just built? Trust, right? I said I'm going to do something, I did it, and now that trust has been formed. And we know that in order to get the purchase and the sale, that trust has to be built. This also can make it feel a little bit less intimidating, especially those of you that are like BJJ, MMA schools, Krav schools. Those styles can be very intimidating for a lot of people. And this kind of shows like, hey, we're, a very family friendly environment. There's people here that are smiling. And again, it just sets the expectation. All right. And it's really going to set you apart from all of the other martial arts schools because not a lot of schools do this. All we did is we took the video, we uploaded it on YouTube, and we created a landing page inside of Market Muscles. Why did we do that? Well, because you cannot automate sending videos via text message. If you want to send a video via text message, you have to send a link, right? So you could put your YouTube link in there, but it's a YouTube link. So because I built this on our Market Muscles site, the URL is actually graciepack.com/, it says CP, which is a convert page, /welcome. So I have my branding built into it as opposed to just sending them to YouTube. All right. So it's one little extra step. If you didn't want to do it, then yeah, just send them the YouTube link. Okay. But this is, again, a very powerful way to ensure that your appointments are going to show up. And it's twofold because it allows you to start building that trust in the relationship. Okay. So those are 3 automations 100% believe that you need to have in your lead follow-up. And again, it's all automated. So you do the work on the front end, and then the software takes care of everything else. And we provide that software to our clients. But it doesn't beat picking up the phone and calling, right? Just ask Miss Jilly, okay? The phone is the lifeblood of your business, and you still got to pick it up and call, okay? It doesn't mean that they're guaranteed to pick up, but you still need to make sure you're checking off that box. Maya uses something called 4 steps of selling. It's super simplistic. And guys, when you start getting like really detailed with 3 pages of scripts and paragraphs that you're given to your program director or your front desk admin, that's very overwhelming. So we use this for outgoing lead calls, whether it's we want to get that lead booked on a one-on-one, or maybe we have a mass intro that's coming up. It's the reason why you're calling. You paint the picture and sell it. You create some urgency and give them a call to action, and then you close it. All right. So this is just kind of a very easy framework that you can use when you're making those outgoing lead calls. Now, we have Mr. John Stewart, another Maya CMA client. There was a post in the CMA Facebook group of one of our Grow Pro clients that was having trouble with his appointments showing up. And Mr. John Stewart, who I interviewed on my 7-Figure CEO podcast, is a great podcast. If you haven't checked that out, you can go to our Grow Pro YouTube channel. You can watch all the videos, or you can listen to the podcast. But he said, I had that exact issue. We had a 50% show rate. Then they made the video. What video is he talking about? He's talking about this welcome video, right? Now, our show rate is 85 to 95% from one video. And that video might take you I think the length of our video is like 90 seconds. It's nothing crazy long. And what was cool is if you noticed a lot of the other comments from the clients on that post, it was all similar feedback. Like, you got to do the welcome video. All right. So this is something I would highly recommend implementing. Okay. All right. Let's kind of wrap this up with talking about calculating your marketing ROI. So, many of you know I'm really good friends with Steven Reinstein, and he wanted to build this calculator into the back end of Market Muscles. And he sent a survey out to thousands of school owners and ended up finding out that through that research, the average industry conversion is about 30% from lead to close. Okay. So if you got 30 leads and you booked half of them for appointments, 70% show, you close 80%, that lead to close is about 30%. Okay. Now, oftentimes when we say average, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be average. However, I know that the average school owner does not have these automations in place. They do not pick up the phone and call. So if we could simply just increase by 20% through the through the automated follow-up and picking up the phone, we go from enrolling 9 students to 15 students. And if you're doing any form of a termed agreement, which we highly recommend, not doing month to month, COVID told you and showed you that you shouldn't be doing month to month, there is a drastic increase in the terms of dollars that come in. But oftentimes you just focus on that first month payment. Right? So if I enrolled 15 students over here and my average monthly payment is $150, well, that's $2,250. But most of you are doing agreements. So it's actually not worth $2,250. It's actually worth $27,000 because that person's going to pay again, and they're going to pay again. And hopefully you have an upgrade program. You're going to get them in that upgrade program within 3 to 4 months. And now that payment's going to be even larger because the value of that student has increased. Having these automations in place and picking up the phone can help you go from what this industry standard of 30% close rate to 50%. And as you can see, that's a large chunk of change. You know, we've got, what is this, 4, 7, almost $11,000 difference. Okay. So quick recap. We got to build authority through content marketing. You need to make sure you have an irresistible offer, right? I think Ms. Jilly put, it's like, you know, buy this car, but you can't test drive it, which is actually kind of funny because I bought my Corvette without driving it. And Mr. Metzger said, you are nuts. I can't believe you just, I was like, I don't care what this thing feels like. That's what I want. That's the car that I want. But I did buy a brand new Corvette and didn't drive it until I drove it off the lot. And I did get yelled at by Mr. Metzger. And then just utilizing that retargeting with automations. All of this stuff is stuff that we do for clients at GrowPro, building authority with social media customized management. We have the growth production add-on. We have an online platform with scripts that makes kind of building authority a little bit easier. You know, we run lead generating ads on Facebook, IG. We just started on TikTok, and we give those monthly recommendations. Every month we send out an email to our clients. We say, hey, these are the recommendations we have for your offer based off of the time of the year, right? Because May, we're going into kind of the summer. And a typical offer that you see a lot of martial arts schools do is train for the entire summer. It's an extended trial, right? So we would make that recommendation. And then we launch the retargeting ads to be in front of everybody. And we also offer the email and text message automations with those 3 specific ones that we talked about. If you haven't gotten your free marketing audit, please do so. Doesn't cost you anything. And if you book it today, you'll get 50% off of your setup fee if you decide to enroll with us. Okay. So I want to take about a couple of minutes left. I wanted to see if anybody had any questions on anything that we just went over or just digital marketing in general. Joel said we signed up for GrowPro last month, game changer. If you're considering it, just do it. So worth it. Thank you, sir. And Joel, if you don't follow Joel on Facebook, I highly recommend it. Super motivating dude. He just did 75 hard recently, and he's in like the phase 1 and phase 2 of 75 hard, where you have to take a 5-minute cold shower every single day. Oof, that's rough, right? Talk about building mental resiliency. Awesome. Miss Hamlin, I ordered my Challenger and never looked back. Yep, no, that's the car that I want. I don't need to test drive it. All right, guys, any questions at all? Mr. Cotty, opening a second school when you can. Yes, so Mr. Cotty opened up a school in January of 2021. Okay, so January of 2021 last year. By October, had over 300 students. 10 months, 300 students. Insane. BJJ school in New York, one of the hardest places to be successful, especially they had the vaccine, requirements and stuff like that. Great job, sir. Opening up his second location, killing it. For adults, do you recommend a one-on-one lesson? If you have the ability, I just don't think anything creates that bond better than the one-on-one. But again, it takes time and it takes effort. And some adults would prefer to experience what the group is like. So it could be either or. But for us, the one-on-one is the absolute best thing, especially with jujitsu, with all of, and I know you're a Krav Maga school, but with jujitsu, all of the different positions, it can be kind of very confusing on that first class without having this kind of standard, like, this is what the mount is. This is what the guard is. This is what side mount is. So we do find it better for us to do the one-on-one, but I have almost 4,000 square feet of mat space, 2 different mats. And I have a large team that, not one person is stuck doing those one-on-ones, and we can rotate it. So I think that plays into it, right? It's like, man, do I have the space? Do I have the staffing to be able to do it? And that is the one kind of downside about one-on-ones, okay? Our niche is adults, and we only do one-on-one, and they have 500. She literally has clients coming out of her ears. They have so many students. So, all right, guys, really appreciate your time today. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out. Mr. Cotty, I'll send you an email right now so we can connect. We can hop on a call, and I'm here for you guys. Make it a great day, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye, guys.